Well, alright, here we go again. And, just as a matter of taste, if you're in the mood for, off-color humor, this particular joke is not going to grab at that. So hopefully you'll decide to listen anyway, right? Well, so the thing is why do people think so backward for? Let's say, give me an example of how people think so backward. Well, the truth be told, people tend to be creatures of habit and that. So the thing one must remember when one loses something is because they put something in a place that they're not accustomed to leaving it at, right? Think about a carpenter or someone who's putting together a house. You know, why does a carpenter wear a tool belt for, say? You know, the thing is, if you have any experience at all with working with mechanics of any sort, the one thing that dawns on you is after a while, one of the biggest frustrations you can have and one of the things that irks your soul no more than anything is when you can't find your tools after you just used it, you know? Even if you just put it down for a dobby second and then move to another part of the car, the house, for just a minute or two, and then you come back thinking, well, I just left my tool here, except it isn't there. Oh, surely I left it there. The only trouble is the tool isn't there either, you know. So the thing is, the reason why carpenters and all, they wear what they call a tool belt around their waist is because they're trained. As soon as they get done using a tool, even for a moment or two, they not only put it back in their belt, but they put it back in the same spot every time, right? So you're asking yourself the question, so what does any of this gobbledygook have to do with the man thinking backward and all? Well, I'll tell you. See, man thinks backward naturally because, we live in a fallen world and all that, right? So, why do we say, I looked all over for me thing that I'm looking for all over? I said, well, why are you looking all over for it? Why are you looking all over for it? Where's the first place that you looked, right? Well, the first place that I looked is where I normally keep it. That's why I say I was looking for it all over. Well, what makes you think that the place where you left it is where you normally keep it? See, the thing is that people have deleting short-term memory as they get older. And they tend to leave things in familiar spots so that they know right away something that you do frequently, routine, tends to get stored in your long-term memory, right? So why on earth would you go looking for something in the place where you're accustomed to leaving it at? So I asked the guy a question. Why wouldn't you immediately start looking for something where you don't normally leave it? Why wouldn't the first thing that comes into your mind be, well, it can't possibly be where I normally keep it or I wouldn't be looking for it? Because if it was where I normally keep it, then I would have found it already. So when you think about, gee, I lost something, the last place that you should look for is where you normally keep it. Because you've already been to one of those spots, right? Well, if you haven't kept it there, then you probably haven't kept it in any other couple familiar places. But you see, people naturally think backward. When you lose something, it's because you put it in a spot where you don't normally keep it. And here's the reason why people lose their keys so much. It's because it's safe to do this with, right? Think about it. You drop your keys anywhere because you can't hardly leave them behind. Now, can you, love? You know when you put them down somewhere that you can't get into your car and go down the street without your keys, right? So you get courageous about it. You get daring about it. So you drop your keys anywhere because you know you can't go anywhere without them. Simple case in point. You go back to where you're confined to a very small space, just looking for it where you've been since you parked your car the last time. So you can lose your keys more than anything because that's the thing that you're accustomed to knowing you can't leave behind. And the last place you're going to look for it is where you normally keep it because that's the one place you wouldn't put it, right? So when you go from your car to the other place to here and there ain't been but a few spots you've been since you left your car. So that's where you go to look for it. You wouldn't go looking in your car for it, right? But that's why we're accustomed to losing our keys, is because that's the one thing that we're accustomed to leaving out anywhere, because you know when you're out and about, you drop your keys here, you drop your keys there, because you know you can't go far without them. So you get all courageous and all daring about it and just drop them anywhere. But you do drop them in a spot where they're not going to be stolen. You know what I'm saying to you? You're not going to leave them just anywhere in a place where they might be stolen. So you don't drop them just anywhere in a place where other people are around who say maybe know what car is yours. You always drop them in a spot when you're out and about where no one knows you, so that way nobody has a clue where the car is or who it is with it, right? It's also a good idea to have another car company manufacture your key, if you can, because in that way they don't have the Honda symbol to look for or the Toyota symbol to look for. Anyway, just a thought there for you, but this is factual. And once you've heard this joke, I think that you probably won't ever lose your keys again, will you now? All right, have a good one. Bye-bye.